Please now welcome to the stage our very first speaker for the evening, Kanta Yamazaki, and his thesis, Children Are Not Your Trophy, Against Strict Parenting During High School.
Remember when you were a high school student, full of excitement for new adventures, with a desire to find what is right as you experience a mysterious world. In these times, nothing is more painful than when parents are disappointed at you, when they throw hurtful words, when they force without knowing your true opinions. Strict parents would choose what sports or instrument to play. Some parents place their own dreams on their children, demanding that they would become professional basketball player, professional sports player, going to Division I college, becoming a lawyer or doctor, trying to live out their dreams through children. Some will force them by saying things like, just do it because I say so, or just do it and you will thank me later. Some children hold back their tears, hoping not to get noticed by parents, pretend like it was okay, while some painful words stay in their heart for a quite long time. Without clear understanding or hearing children's heart, it leads children being overwhelmed with too much pressure and confusion, in addition to the huge pressure that they already carry. When they depart from parents, they finally have full freedom. It results in them being completely lost, not knowing what to do or want to do, since everything was based on parents. So do strict parents create children based on their own image or God's image? And how should parents model and support their children to make sure that they walk righteously independent while still giving enough space for them to express themselves? To understand the right guidance, you also need to know that there are 4 different types of parenting style commonly used in today, which are work based on psychologist Diana Baumricht since 1960. Authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and neglectful. I will mainly focus on authoritarian and authoritative parenting, which are characterized by 2 different types of strictness. Authoritarian parenting involves parents putting high expectation on their children and try to control their children to their success, but not responding to their emotional needs. Authoritative parents involves parents' high demands and high responsiveness. The difference is, authoritative parents provides advice and sets clear rules with children, while also respecting child's emotion. During high school, authoritarian parenting should not be implemented on children, because high school is when children need to learn how to make their own decision and learn how to be independent, but with the heart's guidance from parents. Authoritative style best imitates God's love for his children. Parents provide boundaries and limitation necessary for their child needs, while also focusing on spiritually and emotionally on child. In addition, controlling one person is God's work, and no human can control another person perfectly. In Ephesians 1:11 says, "In him we were also chosen, having been predestined according to his plan, which works out everything in conformity with the purpose of his will." Remember, God is always working on every person. When parents are afraid that children might fail and let them avoid failures and obstacles and try to control to their success, then they are changing the image that God created on them. God created everyone uniquely different. Every children have different passions, different desires, and different talents. Parents' job is not to assume their ability, but to help them to find their own potential by supporting their hearts. So, how can parents be watchful of their children? According to the book which Trinity Classical Academy provides for every high school student's parents to follow, called Age of Opportunity by Paul Tripp, it mentions that when parents work so hard, putting so much time and money and effort into children, he said, we begin to look at our children as a trophy rather than God's creator. Parents should never see children as a trophy and never use them to feel satisfied to their own success. So it leads to the question, what if children's passion and desires are harmful? In this case, many believe that authoritarian parenting, controlling, and forcing them to listen and follow what parent says is right, is easier and safer rather than letting them choose and fail. But let's look at the Bible. In the Bible, it mentions that many people make bad decisions. St. Peter denied knowing Christ, wept bitterly over it, but became the greatest leader of the church. St. Paul watched as others stoned Stephen, but later had a conversion experience and became the great apostle to the Gentiles. So how does bad decisions lead them to successful result? And is actually making bad decisions is always lead to bad result? Well, the answer is what changed them is the heart. No one ever forced them to do right. They find what is right by God reaching their heart. But guiding, changing their behaviors can only make them good for temporarily. But guiding their hearts and letting them know the love of God will live within their heart for the rest of their lives. So parents should focus on heart changes rather than behaviors during high school. To reach their heart, love is the best and only way. Just like John speak against evil, not love with words or speech, but with love, with action and truth. To show the love and guide them towards the love of Christ is parents modeling Christ's love and keep advising them, help them to see the options of path that they can take and love them as who they are. By doing so, God will lead to where they should be, and that works with parents modeling Christ's love consistently. In 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, and now these three remains, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. God's love will never lead to wrong directions. Authoritative parenting develops continually growing love. Always acceptable and give enough space for children to be who they are But authoritarian parenting measures their success by the outcomes such as popularity, grades, awards, things that anyone can do. It leads to less self-esteem and feels less worthy when things fail. So be watchful of their children to make sure that they walk righteously independent and to make sure that they find themselves how to get back and stay strong as they go through ups and downs. So that lessons could apply for the rest of their lives. Parents, you will always be the hero of your children. Rethink about how and what you want to give to children's heart. I encourage you to listen to children's heart very carefully. And remember, it is not always parents' job to save our children. Sometimes we have to let them stand and fall on their own, but with as much love as parents can provide. Making bad decisions does not determine who they are. Making bad decisions does not determine their life. Making bad decisions does not mean that their life is worthless. Making bad decisions does not mean that their life is over. Work together. Fail together. And continue telling that you're proud and love them as who they are. And model how it is done. And always pray and trust God's plan that is working on them. Thank you.